everyone. Today I'm going to show you a few ideas for making some sensory play resources using a really basic store cupboard material, and that is corn flour. Now I will warn you, this one is quite messy, so be prepared, but it is lots of fun. Okay, first we're going to make some glue. So I'm going to put a couple of nice rounded tablespoonfuls of corn flour into the bowl, and then I'm going to stir in enough water just to make it stick together and make it gloopy. So you can get children involved in this, mixing and stirring the mixture together. Sometimes if it's a little bit too watery, you might need to add a little bit more corn flour, but it should be a sort of a thick mixture. Now you can leave it just like that and play with it. It's fantastic. You can put it onto a tray or something and let the children explore. But what's lovely to do is also mix different sensory materials into it. And what I love to do is add a little bit of chocolate, because the smell of chocolate is obviously gorgeous. So I'm going to put a little bit of chocolate into mine, and it makes it smell amazing, and also kind of makes it look a little bit like mud. So I shall show you what my children did with their chocolatey glue.
Oh.
So how does it feel?
It feels soft at the edges, but then when you get into the middle, it's harder.
So when you tap it, it's hard. What happens when you try to scrape it?
Scrape it, you just like transform, but hold on to that. And I think we can actually make a mountain.
So is it a liquid or a solid?
Liquid or solid?
It's a bit of both, isn't it? Because when you tap it, it's solid, but when you go slowly through it, trace it, it's like a liquid.
Look.
Amazing. So the next corn flour creation I'm going to show you is something called cloud dough. And for this you're going to need a bowl, a spoon, that's a spoon, a container to mix the various parts, some cheap and cheerful hair conditioner, and some corn flour. The ratio you need is 2 parts corn flour, so I'm going to use this container as my measure. So 1 and then 2 parts corn flour. Obviously if you want a smaller amount, just use a smaller measuring container. So 2 parts corn flour and 1 part hair conditioner. Ooh, look at that gloopy material. Children can have loads of fun helping you mix this, because what you need to do obviously now, a little bit more, is mix the two together. So in it goes, and we'll mix. So I'm stirring the 2 parts together. It has an incredibly strong smell to this. I can see actually that it's still a little bit wet. So at this point, I'm going to add some more corn flour, just a bit at a time. So if it's too wet, add corn flour. If it's too dry, then add a bit more hair conditioner, because you want to get it to the consistency where it forms a soft dough. I think at this point, I'm going to put my hands in it and try and bring it together as a dough. Ooh, there we go. So I've taken the cloud dough out of the bowl now, because it's formed a dough and it's ready to play with. It has an incredibly soft, silky texture to it, really smooth, soft, light dough, so you can move it very easily for small hands as well. It has a texture somewhere between Play-Doh and slime, and it has that sort of moving quality. So if you make it into a shape, because of the corn flour in it, and a little bit like kinetic sand or like slime, it gently oozes, but very slowly. So it has got a fascinating tactile sensory quality to it, and just invites play. It isn't baby safe, obviously. It does have the hair conditioner in it, so what you can do is break off a piece and pop it into a plastic bag. I'll show you in a moment, and that will allow babies at least to squeeze and to manipulate it without danger of putting it in their mouth, because this one does need a lot of supervision. You don't want that in babies' mouths. So here I've put the cloud dough in a Ziploc plastic bag, which allows a small baby just to squidge it and to form it. It's such a light, soft dough that it doesn't take much pressure to actually move it, so it's probably easier for them to manipulate than normal Play-Doh. Obviously, just be careful they don't bite through this, because they could potentially, I suppose, but as long as you're supervising them, this will be fine to play with. Oh, I just want to do it more.